I am Nick Shell, and this is what I like. I like this comment. I made a video called 3 Changes That Happen to Men by Age 35. Hair loss, weight gain, and emotional intelligence. Well, I received a comment from the MF man, that's his screen name. He's been watching my videos for a while, and no, MF does not stand what you think. He explained it, but it's not the thing that you think. So, here's his comment. Quote, LOL, as in, he actually laughed out loud, and then his comment continues from there. I checked my 1-year-old photo of me. My hair is going to be thin, but not bald, but thin in such a way that it looks like I have hair. If this prediction works out, of course. I have also a fast metabolism, so I struggle to gain weight, but I'm sure we'll see it by age 35, end quote. I like this comment. And yes, your metabolism will absolutely change. For me, as a teenager, one of the things that made me feel insecure about myself is how thin I was. I was bony. I really was. I just wanted to gain weight. I'm not making this up. As a teenager, I drink, you know what Ensure is? Those nutritional drinks that are for really older people to make sure they get enough. I drink those on a regular basis in an attempt to try to gain some sort of body mass. And it didn't work. But then, by the time I turned 19, things started slowing down. And now to the point where I survived 5.5 years of being a vegan. And then I just started gaining weight anyway. So, yeah, that'll all work itself out. But let's talk more about this hair thing. Here's what I like about this comment. This is someone who actually listened to what I said and did the thing I said to do. And it was a good thing. You know the 1971 Willy Wonka movie where at the end Charlie is the only child who takes out the everlasting gobstopper and gives it to Willy Wonka? And that was ultimately why he won the contest. That's how I feel about the MF man. I feel like I've been saying all of these things, and he's actually someone who's actually doing the thing I said to do. Put this down. What did he do? He heard me talking about how your 1-year-old photo, you at age 1, not 9 months, not a 1.5 years, 1-year-old, your mother loves you, and she took a picture of you on your first birthday. She did. No exceptions. She did. That photo still exists. All you have to do is ask your mom, hey, can you, even if you don't live in the same town as your mom, if you're in college or whatever, can you send me through Facebook Messenger a picture of me on my first birthday or me at age 1? And within 7 minutes, she will respond and that picture will be sent to your phone. That's all you have to do. Okay, so that picture, you look at your hair, that's you at age 35. That's your hair at 35. If you're noticeably balding by 35, you're going to be continuing to bald the rest of your life. But if there's no major signs of baldness by your 35th birthday, chances are you'll at least be hanging on to most of your hair most of your life. I predict for myself, and I've made that video. I showed a picture of myself at age 1. But I predict for the next decade or so at least. I mean, I'm almost 40 now. So I think by the time I get to my early 50s, for example, I think what we're going to see is thinner hair. We're going to see a bald spot. That's what I think we're going to see. Not worried about it. But ultimately, that was a theory that I created. No one ever talked about that in the world until I started talking about it. So the MF man, as he calls himself, actually did the thing and he saw that connection. What else do I talk about? I talk about how that you can look to see if you have a full connected beard by your 18th birthday. And if you do, you're more likely to be that guy, like me, who's going to be balding the rest of his life to some degree as compared to the guy who keeps all of his hair his whole life like Ronald Reagan. Okay? But also I keep telling everybody, stop emailing me. Stop Instagramming me. Stop sending me messages on Twitter saying this. Nick, I love your videos. Hopefully you won't mind if I send you a picture of myself so you can tell me if I'm going to go bald. I get that continually, even though I keep telling people to stop saying that to me. I appreciate anyone who's watching my videos. But I'm not helping you if I'm going to tell you based on your picture if you're going to go bald. Why? Because that means you're not doing what I'm talking about in this video, which is to look at yourself and your 1-year-old photo and project yourself as a 35-year-old to understand if you're going to be bald the rest of your life. That's a theory I created and take full credit for. Also, ask your barber, because your barber is a professional. They know what male pattern baldness looks like in its early stages. They have to cut men's hair according to it. They're professionals and experts. I'm not. I'm just a YouTuber who has theories that are amazingly accurate. Not foolproof, not 100%, but largely for the most part, they're pretty accurate. But I'm not a professional. Your barber is. Ask your barber. And here's another thing. I don't want to look at photos of people's hair because that's going to put me in a position where I'm going to end up having to say, yeah, it looks like you're got a receding hairline. I'm sorry that you're 21. And then that person is just going to freak out. Well, what do I do, Nick? Do I get hair? I don't solve problems like that. You know what problems I solve? Can I be any more clear about what this brand is about? This Nick Shell YouTube video channel. What is this about? Am I trying to save you from your hair loss or save myself? No. I want to be known as the most popular hair loss YouTuber who doesn't care about preventing or saving hair loss and doesn't care about preventing or saving your hair loss. Yeah, I said it. What do I care about? I care about helping you psychologically overcome your hair loss so that you can still go bald in the next 5 years, in the next 20 years, in the next 30 years, and you're still a confident man who knows who he is. If you're not on board with that, or you can't even imagine that you ever would be, please stop watching my videos. Please unsubscribe. Nick, I can't believe you just said that. That's really foolish. Nick, you made basically over $4,000 off of this channel last year between the ad revenue and through Amazon links. Why would you tell people to unsubscribe? Because they're not going to. The only way I could lose subscribers and lose viewers is to simply stop talking about hair loss. Anytime I ever don't talk about hair loss, no one watches those videos. But as long as I keep talking about hair loss, subscribership and viewership continues to go up. This is a channel for I reel people in. What is this? It's supposed to be a fishing, and instead, what is this supposed to? It's more like a violin, right? Anyway, I reel people in because they're worried about hair loss. And when I'm effective, I'm able to keep people here and help them actually overcome their hair loss so that whether they go bald, problem solved. That's the problem that I solve. And the MF man, as he calls himself, I'm laughing as I'm saying that because it doesn't stand for, okay. I praise the MF man because he gets it. He listens to what I said and he does the thing. Now, he could have done that and said, oh man, I looked at my photo of myself at 1 year old and I'm going to be bald. I was a bald baby still at age 1. Well, then it would have been his responsibility to say, okay, well, I'm going to do the next thing that Nick Shell says that any man worrying about hair loss should do. And what is that? Shave your hair off. Solve the problem. Not necessarily permanently shave it off, but just buzz it off with a zero guard, get it out of your system, face your fear head on. That's the next step. And that's for those of you who don't even have hair loss but are watching my videos anyway because you're afraid that in 5 or 10 years you will be. Shave it off. Face your fear. I am not one of those YouTubers who's here to talk about hair transplants, alopecia, tattoo pigmentation, holding your breath until you turn blue, castration, whatever kind of crazy things people are talking about to try to prevent hair loss. Nick Shell doesn't care about it. That's not part of my identity. So, yeah, you need to decide. Could you possibly be on board with what I'm doing here? Helping people psychologically overcome hair loss? Or are you still trying to figure out if you're going to go bald so that you can figure out how to save it? If that's you, you're going to find that I'm not that relevant to you anymore. And I haven't been this whole time. There are other YouTubers, many of them more popular than me. They'll gladly talk to you about saving your hair loss, saving your hair, preventing hair. They'll gladly talk to you about that. I'm not that guy. I'm different. And I don't mind running people off by telling them that. Because I think in 20 years, in 10 years, in 5 years, you're going to be better off sticking with me because I'm shooting you straight than someone who's trying to prevent the unpreventable. If it's in your DNA, you're going to go bald. And you're going to have to deal with that. Otherwise, you're just dealing with the surface. And even Donald Trump can't stop hair loss. Even with his hair transplant that he had, and it being in the 70s, and being the president of the United States, he's still taking Propecia. I never want to be that person. Let me go bald, but let me not be a slave to hair loss. Are you on board with that or not? Because I'm not going to change. I'm never going to make you happy if you want me to teach you how to prevent going bald. I'm only going to disappoint you. But if you're ready to grow up and get over this thing, and let me be your uncle, then sign up right here in the comments section.